Cleantech Water highlighted its leadership in water purification at the 13th Australian Microcap Investment Conference. CEO Peter Voigt presented the company's innovative solutions to global water challenges.
Good morning, everyone, and I guess I'm going to take you on a journey from security to tech, and the tech's a little different to what we've been talking about today. Cleantech has been around for some time, and we've been around in various guises. Today's Cleantech is all around decarbonisation. It's around renewable energy, and it's around being the pickaxe and the shovel to these industries. The big areas that we cover are fresh water and how we look after water, mine tailings and energy, all energy metals. These things are all the things that are going to drive decarbonisation as we go forward, and also as we move into the renewable energy market. So firstly, yes, we are one of the mini micros. So as you're looking for investment opportunities, of course, have a look at what we're saying, have a look at what we are aspiring to be, and I think that you'll find the thematics that we are trying to integrate with at the moment globally, they resonate. Just as a quick one-liner, in the past, Cleantech has in fact been through a very big growth spurt when we actually invested in our technology into the nickel and cobalt industry. And in that time, we went from a $20 million company all the way through to a $1 billion company through the application of technology in specific markets. So as I talk today, you're probably going to get a little bit of a feel around, that sounds a little bit familiar. We're looking at putting our technologies into particular market segments and having those particular verticals grow exponentially. So at the moment, we are, as you can see there, quite small at the $23 million mark, but our aspirations are very large. The things that are kind of important to us are that we do have experienced leadership teams that have been around now for quite some time and understand the marketplaces that we play in. We are targeting specific markets, and these markets are global. So our opportunities here are large. We've spent a lot of money over the past 20 years in investing in technology and in protecting our technology and IP. It's a little bit TeQ. I'll talk a bit about it as we go through this investment pack, but you'll see that we have technology which is unique, and that is a two-edged sword sometimes. Having that uniqueness sometimes is seen as a negative, but as soon as the majors get to understand the benefits and advantages that we can bring, that changes the game substantially. I think that this innovative portfolio is really one of the big aspects of Cleantech. If you look around Australia, particularly, the innovation that we can bring to the rest of the world in the water space and in the mining space is quite phenomenal. But our markets are global. The performances that we're trying to deliver here are all around the value equation for a customer. So if we're looking at metals, we're looking at recovery of high recovery of metals. If we're looking at water, we're looking at high recovery of water. We're looking at doing it in an economical way. We're looking at doing it in a low energy way. These are all the premises that go behind the technologies that we have developed. So I'd like to first start off with the energy metals area. And the first one I'd like to talk about here is our lithium joint venture. Maybe lithium is a bit of a dirty word at the moment, but there's one thing that I can tell you about lithium is that while today we need 1 million, say, tonnes of lithium carbonate equivalents, we still need 4 million tonnes of lithium carbonate equivalents in 2030. If the investment has to be made between now and 2030, otherwise we're just not going to have the electric cars on that road. And we all know that the investments in gigafactories and that have been substantial. So the investment in lithium extraction and purification is real. Rio's investment the other day just goes a way to show that this particular thematic is real. What we're doing at the moment, though, is we are looking at our technology, which we have developed, is called continuous direct lithium extraction. We're looking at extracting lithium directly from brines. So in Australia, we're all very, very understanding of the hard rock mining side of lithium, but brines are going to be a substantial player in the lithium market going forward. If you need to be in the lowest quartile of costs, you're going to have to be in the brine business, and probably you're going to have to be in the area of around America and South America. The idea of the geopolitical situation is also very, very supportive behind us going into brines in North America. And so the reason why we're doing this is because the direct lithium extraction technology, which I'm showing here, which is very much unique to cleantech, has got a huge potential in both the US and in South America. At the moment, what we have is we've got a joint venture company, which we're calling, it's called Go to Lithium. This joint venture company is in association with Robert Friedland's Ivanhoe Electric in America through their subgroup Computational Geosciences. So in the North American market, we have already established a foothold in a deal with Lithium Bank, where we are doing a technology for equity play, and we have already taken the pilot plant to Canada and have already put through that pilot plant the first run of brines from their Boardwalk project. Lithium Bank themselves is a very large, has a very large footprint in the lithium space with 27 million tonne equivalents sitting in the brines in the Leduc in Alberta. And so this is a substantial play, and we are the first ones really to show that the technology is able to extract over 98% of the lithium in those brines at low lithium concentrations. So this technology is unique to us, and as we go through the various milestones with Lithium Bank, we will be earning more and more equity within Lithium Bank's company. So as a particular business proposition, this is one of the business propositions that we have. The other business proposition, though, we have is we are also in discussions with several other players in the lithium business not on an equity basis, but it's much more on a royalty basis. So the technology is being looked at by the majors, and Rio is one of them. The Middle East is also interested in our technology, and we're in discussions there. So I think this is an area where we're going to see substantial change over the next 2 to 3 years, especially for cleantech. The next area I'd like to talk about a little bit is mine tailings. So the technology that sits inside cleantech has been developed specifically to look at the mine tailings side of mining. Not the front end, but the back end. And the back end of mining is really important to the miners. It's what gives them their social licence to operate. They must look after their wastes. At the moment, if you look at globally, there's 18 billion tonnes of mine waste produced annually. It's a big, big number. Those wastes some of them are going into what we call wet tailings storage facilities, and those wet tailings storage facilities are becoming a big no-no in the industry. Insurance, health, safety. All these are things that are driving the mining companies, the majors, to look at every one of their tailings storage facilities and find a way in which we're going to convert that from a wet facility to a dry stacking facility. The numbers out there are enormous. The technology we have is a chemistry-based technology, a smart chemistry-based technology, which is capital light. The miners have got two decisions to make here. We go with capital expensive, high pressure filtration technology to produce a dry stack tailings, or will they go to a energy light mode, capital light mode, which is a little heavier on the operating side, but still well and truly in the realms of affordability. Generally, in terms of the miners, they will pay somewhere between $1 to $5 a dry tonne to look after their tailings. The technology we're bringing along sits at the bottom end of that. So you can see a mine that looks at, say, 10 million tonnes a year is going to spend with us and our ATA technologies $10 million a year to look after that and get it safely put away into a dry stack facility. So we see this as being a very good model. It's a little different to our water model, which we'll talk about in a minute, and this will generate annuity income streams for the company going forward. We already have a demonstration site about to start in South Africa with Harmony Gold. That should be in operation in the next month. We've been working with BHP on their Think and Act Differently campaign. We've gone through the first phases of that successfully, and we'll probably be moving into the second phase of demonstration in that particular model going forward. We're working also with mineral sands in Mozambique. So we've got around about 10 different operations in terms of lab to demonstration scale going at the moment. This to us is a large opportunity of its own, and I've really just touched on the fact that we're looking after their tailings and dry stacking, but the technology gives the miner instantaneously the majority of his water back. And having access to that water to be able to reprocess it through his, say, flotation, for instance, is really important to him. So there's multiple benefits that come from this technology to the miners. There's just a quick vision of what's happening in South Africa at the moment. The real thing here is that there's a multitude of applications here, and it is, like I said, very, very capital light, and that's what we're looking for. Just quickly going now into the freshwater area, and again, the technology here is being aimed at looking at water that is being polluted and is really should be recycled. So at the moment, you see a lot of, around the world, desalination plants where we're taking seawater and turning that into drinking water. That's all very well and good. It comes to your bathroom, you wash your hands in it, out the back it goes in as wastewater. But it's still fresh water. And so what we're looking at is the technology we're bringing is looking at those freshwater, lightly polluted fresh waters that need then to be retreated and can be recycled back into the freshwater cycle. This is really, really important. The areas that we're working on at the moment are the area of the technology which we've labelled here as Desalix, which is a technology that removes sulphate from waters. Sulphate is quite a heavy pollutant in many of the mining industries, and the technology at the moment is being trialled at Neerstar in Belgium, and we expect that trial to move towards a commercial outcome. We're also trialling the technology which is the CIF or the Phosphix technology. That's gone through a very extensive trialling regime in Europe, in Ireland, and we expect that also to turn into a commercial opportunity in the very near future. Other ones are the HYROX, which is the high recovery reverse osmosis. Again, we're working with named brands that are all very, very interested in how do we close our water cycles. And in Europe, that is becoming a very big marketplace. The regulations are changing in 2026, and our technology is being seen as very, very adaptable for those particular applications. This is some of the work we've already done, just to give you a little bit of background on where we've been over the past few years. And these are work that is, I guess, we're trying to demonstrate the technology in the number of areas because we have to get that first demonstration in, that leader in, so that we can take the customer and show him the technology actually in operation. So we've the ones that are really important there, I guess, are the high recovery in the Middle East. That's where we're actually taking groundwater and using it for re-injection for oil for enhanced oil recovery. Nitrate removal, as you may or may not be aware, nitrates are becoming a problem globally in water and eutrophication of waterways. So our technology works very well there as well. The one that probably is also important is the Heathgate one. So Heathgate uranium. This probably feels a little bit between the water and the energy metals game. Recently, we've just started to we're getting ready to commission our plant in South Australia, where we've been able to enhance the recovery of uranium from the Heathgate Resources project there. So it's an in situ leach for uranium. As the grades go down, you have to be very careful about the way that your plant operates, and to keep those grades up, they've moved now to our CleanTech's U-column technology. We just presented this at the last uranium conference in South Australia, and we got all of a sudden we've had this technology for 15 years, right? So it's not like this is brand new technology, but it's taken till now for the technology to start to become, shall we say, the required technology. And what's pushing that, of course, I don't know again if it's kind of come through yet, but big data is pushing both water and energy. So the Microsofts of the world, the Amazons, etc., and data centres are all energy intensive, and they're all now starting to say maybe nuclear is not such a bad power source. Renewables are great, but a lot of money is going to come from big data into nuclear power over the next 5 years. And so I want to be beside that as the thematic changes there, because the way that we go about it is all around, hey, we can save you energy, we can save you water, and we can save you operating costs through the use of our technologies. So again, I think that's another pointer to where the world's moving. One last thing I'd like to just bring up. We also have developed the first in the world of these new graphene membranes. Graphene is a bit of a wonder material. I'm not going to take you through all the things that it's great at, other than it is what the world is looking towards to the next generation of membrane filtration for water. We're able to produce these graphene membranes now at a commercial scale. The reasons why we went initially to into the manufacture of graphene membranes was, and by the way, this is 7 years old now, this program. It's taken this long to get from the initial phases of at Monash University and take it through to commercialisation, is that we had to feel that there's 2 billion people in the world at the moment that are non-consumers of this type of technology. If you look at India and China and South Africa, there's 2 billion people who need technology like this. The technology that can take water, surface waters that are highly contaminated, and give them drinking water. So that was our initial high-level reason for getting into graphene technology and water. The fact of the matter is, though, that the graphene technology is much more universal as well, and we're already now selling the graphene membranes into the hemp processing market in the United States as a first initial entry. But the bigger world needs much more than just that. The odds are that with this technology, we will be partnering this technology with others. The marketplace is immense. Australia is not the place for it. And so I can see that probably in the next 1 year, 2 years, this technology will be put into facilities that are outside of Australia. We are growing. We have the first port of call is to get the company into a break-even situation. We're heavily invested in research and development, and we want to move from the research and development phases now into commercialisation phases. Each one of our tracks, be it in water, be it in mining, tailings, remediation, or be it in energy metals, each one of those can stand alone on its own feet. And so the aim here is to get each one of these, A, break even, B, move it to profitability, C, accelerate its growth quickly, most likely in a partnering position with other majors rather than trying to grow and go to market here from Australia directly. So I think I'll stop there, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, and it's another very interesting company that's obviously got some pretty good growth prospects moving ahead. Are there any questions from the audience?
Thank you, Peter. Very good presentation. I'm hearing that parts of Australia, depending on groundwater, are running out of water, like the Flinders Peninsula in South Australia. Could your technology be helpful there to create more fresh water?
Certainly. It depends on the quality of what that water is as to whether or not it's particularly applicable for us. We're not in what they call the desalination markets. That's not what we do. Right? We're much more heavily into the lightly polluted freshwater markets. So a lot of the waters in Australia, A, have nitrates in them, B, have uranium in them, C, have what they call natural organic matter. Any of those ones, they fit our portfolio really well. If it's salt per se, that's not what we do. The desalination market's a very saturated market today. We're looking for much more niche markets than that.
Any other questions? Yes, just in the middle there.
I'm an ex-shareholder in CleanTeQ from a long time ago.
Right.
Whatever happened to the cobalt Sunrise project?
It's still there.
Right.
So,
but you were putting one or two autoclaves in there too.
Yeah, that's right.
It was laterite cobalt. Is that correct?
That's correct. That particular program of works has got exactly the same technologies embedded in it as you see now embedded inside the lithium project that I talked about here. So we're using the same base, but it's a different metal. CleanTeQ at that stage became Sunrise Energy Metals, as you may know, for a couple of years. CleanTeQ Water devolved out of Sunrise Energy Metals. Sunrise Energy Metals still exists. Okay. I don't think the audience wants to hear me go through the nickel and cobalt market. I can if you like.
No. It's just
but if you
sort of a bit of sentimentality there.
Oh, okay.
and my pocket's got a hole in it.
Well, it depends on when you got out. If you got out, did you get out at the $1 billion? Or did you get out?
I can't remember. It's so long ago. I have had a few holidays in the meantime, so. The other thing is I know Robert Friedland's still got a shareholding in the company and Sam Riggle's still on the board. So
that's right.
And they were the cobalt people that...
They were, yeah. Okay. I had Robert on the phone the other week and on the Teams, and he was certainly geeing us up a lot over that phone call.
Yeah, he's a good motivator, isn't he?
He's around. That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Another question up the back there for Peter.
Can you just cover your gross margins at the moment? What are your gross margins at the moment on your products?
Okay, in the product division, right, in the area where we do EPC, right, the margins in those are probably in the area of 30%. Okay, that's in the EPC and delivery of particular projects. What we're trying to do is get a much better mix, because the margins that we can deliver in the area where chemistry is used, in operating costs and the ATA technology, those margins can be greater. So we're looking for annuity income streams from there. The problem we have with the water company at the moment is it's an EPC company. It's rough and ready out there in the marketplace. So you're either a king or a pauper, and we want to get rid of that cyclical nature of that business.
CleanTeQ Water is a trailblazer in sustainable water management, delivering solutions for some of the world's toughest challenges. Its commitment ensures a healthier, more sustainable future for all.